Hello everyone and welcome back to Zoodesia Zoo, and today is a very special day. We are on episode 500. This is it, my friends. After over a year and a half of hard work throughout our entire Minecraft world, we have now reached episode 500. We have almost gone 500 days in a row with very few breaks in between in having an episode of Zoo Crafting every day, not to mention the side quests that come up on weekends or on Friday, just kind of whenever we have something fun and extra to do. And it has been an amazing, life-transforming journey. I know I've told you guys this so many times, but I mean it when I say that this has changed my life. Being able to create Zoo Crafting and create this amazing, beautiful world and build up the community around it has altered my life completely. I have been able to become a full-time YouTuber thanks to your passion and curiosity about the animals that we take care of, the adventures that we go on, and the questions that we answer during the course of our Zoo Crafting adventures. And that means I've been able to take care of my family through this. So a quick thank you so much to all of you for your attention, your time, your passion, your interest. I know it may seem pretty easy just to be sitting at home and watching these adventures, or wherever you happen to watch them. I know some people watch them when they are on their way like to university or school on the bus, and it may seem like a little thing to you guys, but when we come together as a community and have so many people watching and so many people supporting Zoo Crafting and everything that it stands for, that means that you guys have been able to, through the gift of your precious time and attention, help me take care of my family and loved ones, and I cannot thank you enough for that. And it is with that gratitude in my heart and the hope for what our community can be in the future that we are actually going to dig into a big pile of questions. I asked you guys last week if you had any questions for a special Q&A episode, which is this episode, episode 500, and I decided to try to answer all of them. And there's a lot of questions here. We're just going to continue a nice, relaxing, slow motion tour of the zoo in cameraman mode, looking over all of the amazing things we've built and done while I go through these questions. And again, you're probably going to hear it a lot today, but thank you. Thank you so much. You guys really have changed my life. I was on course to become a nurse before I started Zoo Crafting, and by the time I'd been running Zoo Crafting for 6 months, I knew that my passion for biology and sharing real-life facts, knowledge, and passion about the natural world with all of you through the medium of video games, I knew that that was what I wanted to work on, teaching biology. And what a unique way to do it, right? Alright, so without further ado, I'm not going to make you guys have to sit through the excitement of Season 2 starting up without answering some of your very relevant and important questions. So first question is, why are we moving to a new world rather than staying in this one for Season 2? And I've answered that quite a bit in the last few days, but in case you guys haven't heard, our beautiful world, this gorgeous world that you see right here, actually took a big blow. A lot of mods were tweaked and updated, the world was changed quite a bit, just basically some of the quirks that were done to have some very interesting storylines going on, like the Lost World, had to be done with the use of certain mods that have since corrupted this world. It is now broken. The biomes no longer spawn in properly. There's world chunk errors. Poor little Mara, like, settled into her beautiful home in the meadow, and then not maybe 300 blocks away is where we found a border to this world, where if you go beyond that, it will crash and reset the server. And that's a big problem. So basically it means that the current world that you see, as beautiful as it is, as hard as we've worked on it, it's broken and things are falling apart. I've done a really good job of hiding those things falling apart behind the scenes. I've really worked hard trying to make sure the animals are back where they should be, make sure the NPCs are back where they should be, but it's just falling apart so fast that I can't even keep up with it anymore. So it is with a heavy heart that I realized when I realized that Mara couldn't even explore her own area and she was having the server crash on her every half hour, it seemed. I realized that there's too big of problems. My dream for Zoo Crafting is to be able to make it huge. Is for people really honestly be able to come on the server and see what's there and participate in the world and to use zoo crafting as a way to not just continue to adventure as we have so much, but to actually create a zoo that can teach people. A virtual zoo that can give people just a sliver of the taste of what's out there in the natural world. And to do it in a way that's fun, that builds our community, and that makes people want to learn more. Anything, in my opinion, that makes you want to learn more is a beautiful and amazing educational gift. And zoo crafting is that for so many people. So many of you love learning more about the world, more about plants, just because you see somebody who has a passion for it. And that's me, running the series that we have, and that can't be done in a broken world. And I can't invite people on and have other YouTubers come on and like build an exhibit. I would love to have other YouTubers come and visit and help build an exhibit, and then we can leave like little signs and notes about like built by so and so and things like that. I really want to invite a lot of people. Friends, just collaboration efforts, kind of like CAF does, but I want to have them on the ground as zookeepers. And I cannot invite people onto a broken server. I can't give out a download to a broken server. I can't expand, update, upgrade into all the amazing mods on a broken server. And it was not an easy choice. It took me about a month of wrestling with the decision before I finally went, yeah, it's not going to work. And I realized that we would have to leave this beautiful world behind. It was a very, very difficult choice, but it's one that I know moving to a new server, a new world, it's going to benefit us. And my intent for the new world, which is going to be a 1.7.10 world, is that we will be there for years. I think that 1.7.10 version of Minecraft, especially the fact that it has more mods than any other version ever has had in any version of Minecraft, and that those mods are very highly maintained and updated, I think that bodes very well for a stable future. It would be a long time. I haven't explored the mods that we have in this world within 2 years of playing on it. So I cannot imagine, with the dozens and dozens and dozens of mods that we have put into our 1.7.10 world, that I will be able to explore them anytime soon in like completion. So I think it's a great thing. And I'm really looking forward to moving into the new world, even though I really did have to have some time to myself to kind of mourn the fact that we're leaving this one, because I've gotten very attached to it. I know it very, very well. It has been a world that has, I know that may seem odd, but think of it from my perspective. This world and the adventures I found within it have helped to feed my family. So it's surreal to have to take the plunge of letting go of that and moving into a new world. But I know that it will be good for us. So don't worry. And that kind of answers question number 2. How and when did you get the idea for season 2? I got the idea for season 2 when I realized I probably didn't want to have episode 300, we're past episode 300. I didn't want to have episode 892. I wanted to find some good cutoff point for the number of episodes we have. And 500 just popped into my head as a good spot for that. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll start season 2 at episode 500. And I made that decision before I realized the world is so tremendously broken that we would have to go to a whole new world for season 2. So that was kind of when I realized there was going to be a season 2, and the fact that we're moving to a new world, we're going to have a completely new and upgraded list of mods to work on, made me realize that it's just time. It's a good break. But the spirit of what we're doing in terms of trying to educate people will not only be carried on, but we're going to be really intensely focusing on building exhibits, being a proper zoo, and things like that in season 2. I'm still going to be exploring a lot, building the villages a lot, just visiting friends a lot, but I'm probably going to start kind of making those more side quests. And my goal is every week to try to build at least one exhibit, or get started on and stick with one project. That was kind of an interesting thing that I noticed from our world tour that we just did, is that I didn't complete anything that I really wanted to complete. And I really want to have a sense of like going to an area and go, yes, this is done, and be proud of how like one exhibit after another exhibit, just they're in a line and they're done and they look good and they teach people. You can open up those chests and learn about things inside of them. I would love that. So we're going to really focus on trying to get actual exhibits and zoo builds and mods caught and animals studied in season 2. But there's still going to be the village exploring, the adventuring, the friendship. There's going to be even more people. There already are more people on the new server who you guys will meet than there have been on this server. So I'm really excited about that too. So let's see. Oh, and will there be a world download? And I really wanted to make a world download for this world, but in the end I decided there will not be a world download for this world for a few key reasons. One, it is against the mod authors' policies to put their mods in mod packs for several of the mods that we use. Tropicraft, Fossils and Archaeology, Mo Creatures, just to name a few. They do not want you to put their mod in mod packs, and I didn't put the years, in some cases, of work into these mods that they did, and it would be very rude and wrong to go ahead and make a mod pack with those mods, even when, like, it's expressly against what they ask. So I am not going to be able to make a mod pack for the world. 2, this world is broken. I do not feel comfortable giving a broken world that could cause a lot of issues to people to use. So the mods can't make a mod pack. The world is broken. The world size is already over 3 gigabytes, which is more than most people's connections can handle. And 4, I have never been able to run. I have a very high-end computer, a very good graphics card, upgraded hard drive, really great computer for recording, for playing games. It runs Minecraft wonderfully, but I have never been able to run a world using these mods or the mods for the new server by itself. Like, if I don't have a server to support those mods, I cannot run the number and the scale of mods that we use on my computer. It will not work. And if my computer cannot handle it, I am sure that the majority of the people who would want to play could not handle running the worlds that we do. They can only be run on a server due to how intense the mods are. And so I tested it with some friends who have even higher end computers, and even their computers cannot run a single player world that is based off of the mods we're going to use and the mods we're currently using. So unfortunately there just can't be a world download. It's too big, it's broken, and I can't make a mod pack to give to you guys. And several of the mods that I am using are actually broken versions of the mods in 1.6.4 that are legacy versions, and they are no longer available because they are broken. And in the end, I cannot give a broken thing away to people. I don't know what that might do to your version of Minecraft. I don't know what it might do to your computer, and I don't want to take that risk. So there won't be a world download, and I'm very sorry about that. It's just kind of part of the territory when we have a world that is so big. So moving on, will your dogs, darling, and other animals be going with you to Season 2? Will you keep your stuff? Yes, don't worry. Lily, Tate, Pine, Ash, Alia, Iris, and let's see, Lily, Tate, Pine, Ash, Alia, Iris. Uh-oh, I'm missing 2 more. Oh no, Zoe. Uh-oh. Tate. No. Lily, Tate, Pine, Iris, Zoe, Ash, Alia, Holly. There we go. I felt so guilty for forgetting some of them at first, but yes, all of our dogs, darling, as many of our animals as we have out in the exhibits, they will all be going with us to Season 2. We will not be rebuilding the exhibits in Season 2. I thought really hard about that, and I decided that we're going to start completely fresh in terms of exhibits. We do have our staff lounge. It's upgraded. It looks amazing. I can't wait to share it with you guys. We do have my house. We have Zomberry Village, where Junior, JJ, Junior the Third, and all of those other villagers live. We have the Village of Light, and we will be rebuilding some of the other places in the world, and we will be rebuilding the exhibits. I actually plan on having you guys vote on what the first exhibit we rebuild will be. Those will be the legacy exhibits. So we will be rebuilding exhibits and working with all of the animals that we currently have, but we'll also be catching a lot of new animals as well, trying to build up really great exhibits for them too. We're going to keep most of the stuff. I am going to take everything from inside the staff lounge and put it back into the chest in the new staff lounge so that we don't get bogged down with having to do resource gathering right off the bat. We're not going to have enough resources to build the entire zoo from here on out, but I want to use what current resources we have to launch the new world and really get straight into building exhibits and resource gathering. So we're doing both at the same time and just not going on adventures and gathering plants, as I know I'm really prone to do. So we will be keeping our stuff. We will be keeping the animals. The animals will be in safari nets in the stasis chamber room, the cryogenics lab, the ice room, depending on what you want to call it. And we'll be pulling them out and putting them away into exhibits every week, hopefully. That's my goal. The break. How long will the break be between season 1 and season 2? Only a few days. I didn't want to have a break at first, but then I decided I want to make sure that season 2 launches wonderfully. So we will have a bit of a brief break, but it's not going to be too long. Today is Tuesday, May 26th, and we will be having the first episode of season 2 launch on Saturday at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just as usual. It'll be an hour-long special, so it'll be Saturday, May 30th, 2015. So mark your calendars if you want. Come and join us for the celebration. It will be that morning when we launch season 2. And it'll be an hour-long special, probably mostly just to introduce you guys to the new world, show off a few of the new mods, and be able to put the voting out for what the first legacy exhibit should be. So let's see, not a very long break. It honestly is something that I'll need to just have time to try to build up more of the Village of Light and try to make sure everything is moved over properly and just get ready. Plus, I'll tell you what guys, I don't know many other people who do a daily Minecraft series on this scale every single day, and every now and then, as much as I love it, I think that after 500 episodes it might be nice just to sit and rest my voice for a day so that we can come back and be even more excited about season 2. So here's a big question: what kind of mods will be installed? Will you make a mod pack? I'm going to get the mod pack part of that question out of the way immediately. I cannot. Again, we're using several mods that are not allowed to be put in a mod pack, period. And if you wanted to talk to Mo Creatures, Dr. Zach, about it, he expressly says, never, no, don't ask. So, no, we cannot make a mod pack with these things. So I cannot release a public mod pack. I can't guarantee that it's stable. I can't do anything like that. The extent of my modding capabilities and skills pretty much just goes to trying to make them work together and editing config files, which is as basic as it gets. Now, what types of mods will be installed? Here is the exciting news for many of you. We will have, and I'm going to read off a quick list of some of my favorite ones right here. We will have aquaculture, we will have oceancraft, we will have mo chickens, we will have minechem, we will have backpacks, of course, bibliocraft, of course. We will have decocraft, which I'm very excited about, and I am actually one of the patrons of the decocraft creator, and she will be releasing a version of the 1.7.10 version of decocraft that will have a doll of me. So you can actually download that version when she releases it, and it will have a doll of me. I'm very excited about that, and it'll be fun. That doll might be something that you can buy in-game from the gift shops that we'll build, so I'm very excited about that. I hope to learn a lot from the decocraft creator, maybe have some more custom decoration mods that myself and Anvilman and some of our other friends can try to make in the future. We will definitely be having carpenter's blocks. Chisel 2 is a must-have. Chococraft is thankfully updated just in the nick of time to be able to be used in the 1.7.10 version. So of course Sunflower and Aster Seed will be joining us, and we'll be able to rebreed and re-raise a chocobo herd. We will have copious dogs. So copious dogs is going to be included with 18 different types of dogs. If you're familiar with copious dogs and the Doggy Styles mod, if you know the difference between the two and would say that Doggy Styles is worth installing, please let me know more about that in the comments below, because we've been on the fence about it. We can't really tell the difference between one or the other. So if it's worth having both of them installed so we have two different varieties of Great Dane, we're totally fine with that. We don't mind having duplicates of some of the animals because there are many varieties and subspecies of the same type of animal in the world. Of course, custom NPCs, and it will be updated to the 1.7.10 version, which is going to include some amazing new aspects, such as being able to use custom NPCs to make custom animals. It's just a matter of changing out textures, but it will add a whole new dynamic to the game. And we are debating making the animals in our exhibits custom NPCs so that they can do really interesting things like drop certain items or take certain food from people, so you could actually feed, say, the giraffe. Like if we had a giraffe, you could actually feed it. So we've been debating those kinds of things. Let's see, some interesting smaller mods that some of you guys may not be familiar with will be included, such as DecoCraft, description tags, garden stuff, zipline mod, wild caves, which is where we get our glowing mushrooms, is definitely going to be in there. We also have storage drawers, because I could not pass that up for the opportunity to store my tea leaves and hopefully my custom tea. Speaking of which, Minechem is going to allow us to make custom foods. The custom food mod is actually something we're looking into for the future, so that we will be able to actually create custom foods on our server using real recipes. So that's going to be very interesting. Let's see, fossils and archaeology and Jurassic Craft are both included, for sure. So they're definitely going to be in there. The Paleocraft Cambrian mod is going to be in there too. So we are going to have 3 different types of dinosaur mods. In some cases, 3 different types of the same dinosaur to compare, contrast, build exhibits for. We are going to be focusing on both the Mo creatures and the dinosaurs, and I mentioned Mo chickens. I'm very excited about having Mo chickens. We will be having a lot of fun with the dogs. Oceancraft, as I mentioned, is another one that's going to add in a ton of different aquatic animals and aquatic life. We're using little blocks if it would ever behave. Unfortunately, it's having crashing issues, so we may not be able to have that one. Artifacts, Tricapitator, of course, multi-page chest, primitive mobs, which is going to be very interesting, Rancraft penguins, and Twilight Forest. Let's see, doggy talents, so, oh, and hamster mod, craft guide, because TMI wouldn't work. Yeah, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Rock hounding, that really is just the tip of the iceberg with the amount and scope of mods that we are going to be including. And we are working very hard behind the scenes to learn how to make mods. And we're pretty serious about that, because it is our hope that learning how to make models and mobs will provide a way to add custom animals that have not yet been created or put into Minecraft into our zoo, for the purpose of educating people about those animals and maybe releasing those mods one day so that people can learn more about them. So we're really excited about that too, but that is a huge, big, far-off goal that has to be completed with what little energy is left over from running the channel and running multiple series already. So it's a slow goal, but one that we really hope for, and one that we have some really amazing friends trying to help out on. Alright, so moving on, those are the mods, guys. Those are what's coming up. Moving on to the next question, will there be more exhibits? Will there be more huge projects? Will Ms. be returning? And Ms. will not be returning, because Ms. was kind of Kaf's idea of the Minecraft International Zoo, and it was meant to be a place where we would go and we would all add to the zoo, but we never could quite figure out how to make that work. So instead, what I want to do is have people come to my zoo, and it's gonna be a community effort, so people can come visit. We can say, like Mara, for example, could say, let's build a penguin exhibit for the emperor penguins, and we could mark off the area, and she and I could work together on it, and then we could add to it. But that kind of collaboration is what we wanted in the first place, and I think instead of having multiple zoos, it would be more helpful just to like concentrate our efforts onto like one zoo. But that zoo isn't going to be just in one area. Due to the nature of this new amazing world that we're going to be in, there will be different zones, kind of like what we started. Remember when I started calling Ms. the Safari Zone? Well, it's kind of like that. We would have our aquatic zone, or we might give them fun names. For example, in our Zoo Tycoon 2 series, we do the same thing, and we call our aquatic zone Coral Cove. We could have a different zone for certain types of dinosaurs. We could have a zone for the mythological creatures, such as the fairy horses, the unicorns, the dragons, the wyvern, the fairies, the pixies. The ints, there's so many mythical creatures that we could add in. We could have a graveyard zone where we just specialize in different types of zombies. There are actually different types of zombies now, which is kind of interesting. There's a key, the gravestone mod. Yep, that's what it is. And we will be adding the gravestone mod in as well. So that's going to be very interesting. And those projects are going to be huge. And the huge projects we're going to focus on a lot more intensely. I've been doing a lot of little kind of hobby projects in this season. And season 1 was kind of my learning how to play Minecraft, learning how to teach you guys about the natural world while still having fun playing the game, and learning how to build exhibits and how to use the mods. And now that we have a bit of mastery over the mods, we are going to be really applying ourselves to a larger scale of projects, a bigger scale, a more focused scale. So that is what's going to be coming up. And yes, there will be more buildings. That's another question we have right here. Will there be more buildings? Will there be museums? Yes, yes, and yes. There's going to be buildings, museums, places to eat, places to play, little kiosks that sell different things, places that you can play, you know, maybe like some amusement park-ish type games. There'll be trams, there will be skylines, there's going to be tar pits, there's going to be dig sites. Really, if you guys have ever been familiar with the Zoo Tycoon 2 series, and if you're not, I highly recommend watching it if you enjoy zoo building, because that is what Zoo Tycoon 2 does beautifully. It's gonna be more what I imagined when I started the zoo crafting series, is Zoo Tycoon 2 in Minecraft. And we are going as far as trying to commission certain mod authors to make some custom items for us to see that goal achieved. So this is going to be more like a proper zoo. It's going to have a lot of buildings, it's going to have fun buildings, it's going to have roleplay type buildings, it's going to have NPC guests just wandering around. It's going to have more NPCs, it's going to have things that people who want to come, like people who may be on the server who maybe want to pop over and work as a zookeeper for a day to earn some keep, could tend to, like, they could scoop poop that the animals leave. I'm not even joking. They could collect poop that the animals leave in their exhibits and trade it to an NPC over like at a compost bin for coins that they could then spend at the gift shops, at the restaurants, at like maybe the animal training places or the egg shops where we sell eggs from some of the animals. It's huge scale ideas, and please feel free to contribute your ideas in the comments, because that is what makes this a community effort and a community project. But yeah, that's the scale of it, and it's going to be big. And there will be more animals. We're not just going to stick to the small handful of animals that we have built exhibits for thus far. What is my favorite building style? This was an interesting one that popped up right after will there be more buildings. My favorite building style is organic shapes. I don't like straight lines. I don't like unbroken straight edges. I like organic shapes that more reflect how nature builds itself. And I love things with plants, and you can kind of see that in my buildings. I use a lot of trees, I use a lot of plants, and I hate straight paths with a passion. So we will be focusing on that quite a bit. That'll be my building style, but it'll be fun to have other people come in to our zoo to help out and see how their building style incorporates itself into our zoo. Will the old villages be refound? I hope so. If we don't refine them, there will be some that we'll probably try remaking. We're gonna have to let go of a lot of the villages in this world, even though I just found Nani Village and it was so pretty. But we're gonna let go of almost all the villages in this world. I know that archaeology, the Relic Village, I guess we'll just call it Relic Village, with the Relic Research Center, will definitely be coming back. We already found a village that we've been like upgrading and tidying up to fit for that role. And the Village of Light I will be rebuilding, but the other villages I think we're going to have to let go, and we're going to find new villages to raise up, to protect, to build stories and myths and legends for, and add to. And I'm really looking forward to that, because village building and taking care of villagers is actually one of my favorite things to do. Will there be more non-playable characters in Season 2? Will there be more rules to choose from? We have about 100 NPCs filled right now, and I'm on a backlog of mini donator NPCs that I need to add in, but there will be more NPCs coming up in Season 2. And the NPCs will cover whatever role you want. They have always had an option. We started doing the free card, wild card selection in the last Coining Some Jobs video. But NPCs can be whatever you want them to be and whatever I feel suit the world. If you tell me, like, I want to be a poacher, then no, I'm not going to add an NPC who's a poacher into the world just because you said so. No, no, no. We'll do more fun things that contribute more to our overall goal, theme, and our sense of community. But yes, there will be more NPCs. I'm not going to stop making NPCs. I kind of stopped in the last few months because they were vanishing. The world is broken and they were becoming broken, and it wasn't the mod's fault. It was just the fact that the world is kind of busted and we are on a smaller server. It's not our server host fault whatsoever. But I would add in NPCs and spend hours crafting their dialogue and their trades, how they look, what they did, and then they would vanish next time I logged in because the world just is glitchy. But that's why I haven't added new NPCs. We will be adding more in the future. You always have the option to help support the community and donate and get an internship that way. That is an NPC that you pay for. I will be doing free NPCs as well as possibly giveaway rewards. They do eat up hours of my time each per NPC, which is why it's kind of rare for me to do them as coining job videos anymore, but I will try to find ways, like say if you follow me on Tumblr or Facebook, we might have little giveaway competitions that you can try to win, and that'll let you get an NPC. And we may do coining job videos in the future, but it's going to be a little while because I need to catch up on all of the NPCs that we're behind on. If you have a donator NPC that I have not yet added in and I haven't contacted you about it, please email me and I will add you to the list. We had a lot of hiccups behind the scenes, so I'm still trying to make sure I catch up with everybody. But if you haven't heard from me and you are owed an NPC that you donated for, please feel free to contact me. It's not a malicious slight on my part. It's just a result of a lot of hard drive resets and errors, and I would be more than happy to make sure that you are in for season 2. And let's see. Will there be more Japanese, Canadian, Egyptian, or other themed items and areas? Yes, 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 and yes, totally. We are going to be building a lot more themes in the new world, and that's because I want to show more about the world at large. You cannot have nature and separate it from mankind, and mankind has actually created some really amazing things, amazing architecture, amazing ways of interacting with the world that I want to represent. I want to show that off. So it'll kind of be like our zoo is going to be a mix of museums and zoos and places where we rebuild like a certain era of Japanese architecture, or rebuild a certain era of maybe medieval architecture, very popular in Minecraft, or rebuild some Egyptian architecture from different eras all throughout the world. So we'll be really trying to integrate that into the next world too. So yeah, definitely you're going to see a lot more themed areas. We might even start voting on it. It would be really fun to do another straw poll vote where you guys can pick what kind of theme a certain area could be. I'll mark the area off, I'll think about what I think would go good in there, and then we can make a list and let you guys vote on it. We're going to have a lot more voting in terms of what exhibits we build, just because I feel like it's a great way to see what makes you all so excited and to work on those kinds of projects. Now, will season 2 be collaborations or solo episodes? It will be a mix, just like the season 1 has been. Mostly solo, but a lot of collaborations as well. That's just due to the nature of the fact that I try to have daily episodes. And when you try to do daily episodes, it is much easier to be flexible. If you try to do just collaborations, you can get into a lot of trouble when your collab partners aren't able to make it, when they're sick, when just time doesn't meet up, and suddenly you don't have time to get your episodes out and you get very stressed. I don't like that kind of tension. I don't like that kind of stress. So I try to just rely mostly on solo episodes, but there will be collaborations because this next world is a safe world for my friends to be on. It's not going to crash on them. It's not going to explode in their face the way it has been for poor Mara. And I'm really excited about that, so I can't wait to share it with you guys. Speaking of collaborations, will Darling play with you? No, my beloved Darling is going to remain an NPC only in the New World. He does not enjoy playing Minecraft. I even asked him the other night, I turned to him and I said, Darling, the kidlets, they really want to know if you'll play on the new version of Minecraft that we're building up. And he gave me the sweetest look and said, not a chance. And he said that because he just does not enjoy sandbox games. He prefers games like Mass Effect that have a start and a finish and a storyline, and they develop the story for you. And I'm the complete opposite. I love any type of sandbox game. Zoo Tycoon 2, Sims, Minecraft. They are my passion. I love sandbox games. He does not, and I am not going to force him to play. But we will have our wonderful Darling as an NPC still, wandering around the house, and I think I'm definitely going to go up to him and I will deal with real world Darling and ask him what he wants to trade more often. So we'll see a bit of variety in what he trades to me and what he wants traded to him. And hopefully, maybe we'll even be able to assign him a job that he could potentially do as an NPC in the future. Now, will Caffers, Mara, Nasia, and Mystery Man be in Season 2? All of our friends are going to be invited and welcome and open to coming into Season 2. Caff is very happy in his world, so I think he is going to remain firmly planted there. And Caffers is a teacher. Many of you guys remember Caffers with as much love and fondness as I have for her as well, but she is a full-time teacher. She may visit during the summer, but keep in mind that doesn't mean coming back to a full YouTube channel. It is a lot of work, it's a lot of effort to run a YouTube channel, and Caffers does such amazing, beautiful work as a vanilla Let's Player, and she tends to prefer playing vanilla, and I totally respect that, and I still have had such a wonderful time. Anytime I get to see her or talk with her, it's just thrilling, but please understand, she has a very busy real life, and she doesn't quite have the time that we do to sit down and make this her life. So please be respectful of the fact that she is a full-time teacher. In my opinion, that means she's a hero. And understand that if she does come back, we'll be happy. If she isn't able to, we'll be happy. But if she does come back, we'll be overjoyed and thrilled with being able to reunite her with Iris and spend some wonderful time cooking in the kitchen with her. And speaking of people I enjoy cooking with, Mara, of course, will be there. Anasia and some other wonderful unknown friends, such as Mystery Man and a few other people, have been invited, will be invited, are already there, depending. So yes, there will be more people. One of the big reasons that I am getting ready to move to the New World is because I want to work with more people. This is a server. It is a lot of fun to visit friends. It is a lot of fun to see builds built up with friends. And so that's why we're moving to Season 2 on the New World. And will the community members, this is a huge question I see a lot, will the community members be allowed on in Season 2? And here is the big answer. Perhaps. And there's a lot of weight in that one word, perhaps. Keep in mind, zoo crafting and the server and the security of the server is how myself and other members of zoo crafting take care of our families. There are malicious people out there who would be very, very happy to corrupt and destroy what we make, and I must protect the server and thus my family first and foremost. So not just anyone is going to be allowed on the server. It will not be public because it's not safe. And I think all of you can agree and understand that that's true. And you can understand how someone could say, oh, but I would never do anything, Seri. And they could be lying and get on and destroy everything. Even with backups, they could really try to corrupt things. And so no, it won't be public. Will people be able to come on it? Perhaps. We're considering letting patrons on it, and there's several reasons for that. Patrons are probably going to be older, they're probably going to be mature, and if they're paying to be on the server in some way, then they probably aren't going to try to destroy it. And that is the absolute hardcore bitter truth of it. I want to let people on the server, and we had to have many meetings and security discussions and interviews and considerations, and so perhaps is the answer. Perhaps, and if so, it would be patrons and perhaps people who could buy a zoo ticket or earn a zoo ticket or win one. But it's a very slippery slope. So there's a good chance that maybe not. Maybe only people who would be invited into the zoo crafters community. So that's kind of where we're at. I want to invite people, but I know that there would be hurt feelings somewhere. I know that there would be people who would be very bitter about the fact it would only be patrons. I know there would be people who would be eager for the opportunity to come on and try to make a name for themselves by destroying something precious. And I know that there are going to be people who will not understand why they wouldn't be included because they're so young. Legal issues is another reason. Anybody under the age of 18 is not someone I would feel comfortable having on for legal concerns. And I feel that that's very justified. But there would be hurt feelings in a place where we're trying to make it fun and we're trying to build a community. So perhaps is the final answer on will community members be allowed on in season 2. I have a good feeling we're going to give it a try. I'm very concerned about some of the things that could go wrong, but my joy, my love, and my excitement of what could happen by inviting our community in kind of override that concern just a little bit. But if you are a patron, you can speak to me through the patron messaging system or email me and we can talk about it and see if you think that's a good idea. And if you have any concerns, you can let me know, as long as you guys understand where I'm coming from in saying that yes, probably people will be able to come on the server, but only a certain group of people, because I have to. What happens to the server is what happens to my parents. What happens to the server is what happens to Darling. What happens to the server is what happens to my younger siblings, what happens to my pets, what happens to my future. And with your back against the wall, looking at the options, I have to find the path that will try to open ourselves to the community and protect my family above everything else. And I'm worried that might mean hurt feelings and misunderstandings, especially among the younger members of our community. But I just hope that everyone can see that I'm trying to make the best choices. And if that means going, no one but the zoo crafters can come on, then that might be the case. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to have a different option where community members will be able to come on. So that's the huge answer to that. And I hope you guys can respect my decision on that. And if you have concerns, talk to me about them. You know, I'm here for you guys. I'm here for the community. This is an amazing group of people that have changed my life through meeting and being able to interact with. And I would love to see what we can do together. I think that taking the risk to open ourselves up to more members of the community would result in an amazing creation. If everything went well, I think it would be a life-changing experience. But that being said, if we do open up to patrons, there would be special events. Like each month, we would probably have a certain event. There would be a patron town that we would have built. You would get a home in the town. It wouldn't be like a server where you go off and go into the wilds and settle. You would be asked to stay within the borders of the town for building unless you bought deeds, and you would be suggested strongly to stay at a certain area of the server. We would point patrons to one area of the server, we're thinking south, and then northwest and east would be for the zoo crafters to expand on for the YouTube series. There's going to be a lot of YouTubers on, and we have to respect that they need their space and they need their area protected for adventures. So probably patrons would stay to the south. We would build multiple homes and little lots within the town that patrons could claim as their own. So you can come on, get your own house, refurbish it, revamp it, decorate it however you want. There'd be lots and lots of shops in town to trade NPCs with, get special items from. There would be special custom dungeons that we would build that would have really fun little adventures. You could pop in, adventure with some NPCs, fight monsters, just collect things. There would be special areas like a bamboo grove that constantly replenishes itself with bamboo sprouts that you could harvest. We would really actively take care of the patron area. so that if you went to the community garden, there's going to be food for you to take care of. If you go to the community event square, there's going to be a different event every month. And you could also buy deeds to work outside of the town. So you could buy a deed to a chunk of land outside of the town to make your own and put a border up around it, however you want to do it, to mark it as yours. And you could buy additional deeds as time goes on to expand. So it would be a very roleplay based server if community members do come on. People could come and they could work as zookeepers or have other jobs around the world that they could take on to earn coins, and they can take those coins and trade them in for items that they can then expand land. They could buy limited edition pets. They could buy custom NPCs. For example, I'm thinking of making a custom NPC pig that would be a different color than the normal pig, and it would drop mushrooms, a truffle hunting pig. So you could have your town, like your little house in town, that you could decorate with DecoCraft items you can buy in the shops. And in the back, you could have your Mo Creatures chickens that you can buy the eggs from a special traveling salesman whose wares change every month. If we do have patrons, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be very roleplay based. It's going to be very interactive. And it's going to be hopefully a place where you can come on, have fun, explore the zoo. You could definitely request helping, but for the most part, it would be me building in the series, and I wouldn't be doing Skype calls in episodes with patrons. That would be for collaborations with other YouTubers only, just to keep it fair and to keep quality at a certain level. And that's where everything is kind of on the fence. I would love to open it up for people to do that. Is that too much work? Is that too risky? Those are things we still have to consider. So that's the huge answer again on community members being actually on the server. Whew. But if you aren't on the server, how can the community continue to help? That's another question I got. And just by being you guys, by being curious, by being involved, by being part of our amazing, absolutely fantastic world, that is what you guys can do to help out in our amazing community, is just be part of it. Just have fun, learn, ask people questions, answer questions, be excited. If anything, I would hope that the adventures we share in our world would make people excited and eager and happy to explore more about the natural world. So just take the inspiration, the awe, and the happiness from what we do and put that into your daily life. Give yourself joy. That's how the community can help. And if you're talking about in far more practical terms, there's always the support area on our mossleaf.net website that you can check out. Link in the video description below, in every video description actually, on every video. You could share just links to the videos on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. The secret to success as a YouTuber is more people watching your videos, and word of mouth is honestly how a lot of that tends to spread. So if you love it, share it. And do that with not just our stuff, but anyone who you love. That's how you can honestly support a YouTuber, is by sharing their work. And that's a big deal. And only do it if you feel prompted to. Don't ever feel like, ever feel like I'd wring your arm for that, please. But it would mean a lot if you would. Alright, so moving on to some other questions, because we are getting ready to wrap up here. Will SideQuest be out on the same schedule? SideQuest will be coming out. I think we need to get settled in the world a little bit before I can figure out what kind of schedule it will be on, but SideQuests are definitely still going to be a thing. And let's see, how did you meet all the members of the ZooCast? Alright, my friends, we're moving from some of the more official Season 2 questions into some more relaxed questions to wrap up our very special 500th episode. I hope you guys have so much enjoyed this world as much as I have. It has changed my life. Your attention, your time, your precious time shared with me like this has changed my life. And I wish I could meet each and every one of you and just thank you individually, because it's your individual time that has changed my entire life and made it possible for me to achieve dreams that I never knew I had. So, like I said, you guys are going to hear lots and lots of thank yous. And I do my best to try to manage our community so that the majority of us see what we want and are able to do what we want. And sometimes I'm not able to answer the wishes of the individual people because there's so many wishes. But I want all of you to know that my heart is there for it, that I wish I could fulfill every request that everyone has. And I can't because of the scale of the community, and that's so hard to admit, and especially to myself. But I want you guys to know that the desire is there, and I will push myself really hard in season 2 to do the best that I can by all of you. So that being said, that is all of the official stuff, and we will spend a few minutes wrapping up with the fun extra questions that people have left, including, how did you meet all of the ZooCast members? Well, let's start with myself. I was born. Hi, me. No, just joking. Kath is one of the first other ZooCast members that I met, and he contacted me through YouTube, I believe, asking if I wanted to do a collaboration. And I was like, sure, why not? And that's when I met Kaffers, is when we did a collaboration. How did I meet Mara? Mara is from the Sims 2 community. She and I met there. We are both avid Simmers. We both love playing Sims 2 and building up big neighborhoods with legacy families and complicated stories. And I had known of her for many years from Sims 2. And when she started Let's Playing, she started watching Jessa from Just Jessa's channel, or the Jessa channel, there we go. And she started watching Jessa's Let's Plays the way I started watching Jessa's Let's Plays, and we both started making Let's Plays after that. I think she started making them a while after I did, but now she is a YouTuber as well. And so when I realized she was doing Minecraft, and she was such a kind person in the comments all the time and really encouraging on Tumblr, we would talk a lot on Tumblr, I decided, you know what? I really consider her a friend, and so I invited her into the ZooCast. Ambleman, and most of you guys know his secret identity by now. It's like Batman's secret identity. Don't reveal it, but everyone knows it. But Ambleman has been a friend of mine for 2+ years now, back when I first started doing Zoo Tycoon 2. And he contacted me through YouTube, just like Kath did. And we just started talking, and a friendship emerged from that. And when we got ready for season 2, I knew I wanted to see if he would be willing to join us. And he has been an amazing addition, other than breaking my leaf hat. He broke my leaf hat throwing an anvil with an anvil gun on my head. It was just ridiculous. But he has been an amazing addition, helping hugely behind the scenes with testing, upgrading, backups, modding. He's been doing a ton of that work with us, and I cannot thank him enough for the hours and days. We spent possibly 3 straight weeks testing mods to get ready for season 2, and he was doing that almost more than I was, in fact more than I was at first, and so I cannot thank him enough for that. But yeah, that's how I met all the members of the ZooCast. We'll be the Zoo Crafters moving into season 2. Mara Ambleman, a mystery guy, and I will be Zoo Crafters, just to kind of designate that we're focused on that specific world, and a team that's really focused more about actually teaching real life things about animals. That's our big goal. That's the whole goal of the server, is to be educational about natural history, about history of mankind, about nature. But that's the point, not just to run around, not just to play, but to teach. And so that's the whole goal of season 2. And where is the name Zoodesia from? Zoodesia is kind of a play on Ladesia, which is actually the name of one of my very first Sims neighborhoods, where I really had a huge legacy family going. Ladesia is just kind of a pretty word that I came up with, and so we named one of my Sims communities Ladesia. And then running into Minecraft, I just loved the Desia part, so I was like, let's just call it Zoodesia, and thus Zoodesia was born, just because it sounded pretty. Why did you start playing Minecraft? Because I love open sandbox games, hands down. I saw it I looked at it, I watched people play it, I obsessed over Let's Plays of Minecraft for months leading up to actually buying it. I was really, really struggling financially way back then. Even running the channel, like that was when the channel first started actually turning over a teeny bit of money, and I was like, whoa, people are actually really into Zoo Tycoon too, wow, I'm getting $5 a month, this is exciting. But I was really financially struggling at the time, especially because I try very hard to give a huge portion of my funds every month to my parents. That's where it goes, is to my parents, because they have raised me. They did a wonderful job, despite all of the pain and the struggles that they've gone through. So back then I couldn't even give anything to them, and now I try to give at least a fourth, if not half, of what I earn every month to them, because it's just the right thing to do in my heart. It is just, it gives me joy more than any treats, more than any amount of eating out, watching movies, buying fancy things, knowing that my mom and dad can have their medication and can eat and can have a roof over their head every month. That is bliss and joy right there. And that is what you guys have given me the opportunity to do. So again, like I said, this is going to be a little emotional. Thank you again, guys. But I started playing Minecraft because I knew I would love it as an open sandbox game, and I knew I would love it with mods in it. So actually, the very first time I ever played Minecraft, very first time I ever played Minecraft, I was given a copy of the game by my current person, and that was beta. That was way back when pumpkins were maybe first added. Pumpkins were brand new, and it was so scary. I dug a hole in the ground and spiders came and danced on top of it, and I never played again. And that was probably maybe 5 years ago. 4 or 5? Who knows? A long time ago. A long time ago. And then fast forward, when I finally realized Let's Playing was a thing, which was only about 2 years ago, 2.5 years, is when I realized people do Let's Plays. And I would watch Just Sims, and then somehow I bumped into Yogscast Ridian's Blackrock series, and I loved it. And I started watching other Let's Plays of Minecraft, and I realized the potential for this open sandbox game, and that I wanted to play it too. So that's why I started playing Minecraft. And I knew when I started playing it that I wanted to play it the way I wanted to, which meant plants and animals. And when you combine that and combine my natural passion of teaching biology, it seemed obvious to me to do a zoo. And I couldn't really find anyone who had done a zoo in the way I think a zoo should be done, where it's not just about like the game and the mod, it's about tying it all in with the real world. And I still don't know anyone else who goes to that depth. And I'm glad I do, at least, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it. So that's why I started playing Minecraft. And what was the funnest thing to build in the zoo? What was the most difficult? What was the easiest? I would say probably the funnest thing to build in the zoo was the berry bakery. I love it. I love that I actually finished the build. I think that is why the berry bakery stands out in my mind as the funnest thing to build, is because I actually finished it, and the only thing missing was the NPCs. And if that kind of excitement and joy is what it feels like to finish a project, then I'm going to be working so hard to finish projects in the future. So yeah, I think that's definitely the funnest build, is the Berry Sweet Bakery, which we'll probably have to rebuild as a legacy build in the future. And the most difficult build was probably Dr. Nami's Underwater Research Center. That took me like a day and a half to build, even though it's not very big, because building underwater sucks when we're in a version that sponges don't work. It involved dropping so much sand, and it took forever. It took a day and a half, and it was pretty miserable, but I was so proud when the end results were done. And what was the easiest thing to build? That's kind of really hard to answer, because basically any of the garden areas where I just plunked down plants and went, it's done! That would definitely be the easiest thing I built in Minecraft. And then a question from Joe to kind of end off on the Minecraft related questions. What is one real life lesson and one game related lesson you've learned from zoo crafting? My real life lesson is definitely that I love teaching people about the natural world. And so I think the larger thing I draw from that is that my real life lesson from zoo crafting is that if you follow your passion and you work at it every single day, if you push yourself to learn new things to do better, if you study it every single day, if you review what you've done and go, how could I improve this? If you really have a passion and you not only attend to that passion every day, but you push yourself every single day to do better by that passion, then it will change your life. And it will change your life in the most amazing ways. And that's probably what I've taken away from zoo crafting. And I hope you guys can take that away too. A lot of people will say, oh, just follow your passions about careers and things like that. And I think that's total bunk. You have to put food in your stomach and a roof over your head. And sometimes that means working jobs you hate. But as I've mentioned in Time Shot episodes, sometimes working jobs you hate is done so that you can pursue what you love. And that's what I did. I worked very hard jobs, like on a farm. I worked as a nanny. I worked many part-time jobs layered on top of one another, so that I only had a couple spare hours a day, and I still would sit down and record and get out the daily episode because I had a passion, not for Let's Playing, but for teaching people about the natural world. And doing it through this medium, because instead of being a teacher in a classroom, instead of being a university lecturer, instead of being a park ranger volunteering at a park, I am speaking with an audience of thousands of people at once. And I think that it deeply satisfies my heart in knowing that I am doing something that can have an impact. And so, yeah, follow your passion, but work hard. Work until you are sweating at it. Don't just go, I want to do this, and think that it's all going to work out. I think the true answer and the true secret to following your passion is that if you have a real passion for something, it will carry you through all of the sweat and blood and hard work that it takes to get good at it. And if you don't have a strong enough passion, you don't have a real passion. If it cannot carry you through the hard work that's needed to get good at what you want to be good at, then it's not a real passion. But if you have a passion that makes you go, this is worth it, when you're exhausted, when you're tired, when you're pushed to your limit, and you're still smiling and you're still going, this is worth it, then that's a passion. So that's what I've learned, and I'm so grateful for that, because I know that that attitude and that mentality and that mindset is going to cover so much of the other things in my life. So thank you, Joe, because that's a really great way to put into words a feeling that I've had about zoo crafting and what we've done for a long time. And one game-related lesson I've learned from zoo crafting, unfortunately, it is still not how to craft a bow. I still forget that. But I've learned how to use limited materials in very creative ways, and I love that kind of thinking outside the box mentality, and I know it's really helped me with building fun exhibits, and I'm real excited to use that and all of the new amazing blocks and things and tools that we've got for season 2 to make even better exhibits. So my friends, that is all of the Minecraft related questions, and I'm going to wrap up this with just a few of the many other questions we have. Like I said, I told myself for 500 episodes, we're going to celebrate just by overview of the world, beautiful cameraman shots, and fulfilling lots and lots of questions. So questions about other series really quickly. Where is Farmville 2, Spore, or Sims 2? I love all those games. I would love to bring them all back. Farmville 2 has been over at our vlog channel. If you guys don't know where that is, go to our main channel page and you will see a link on the right side that says Seri's Greenhouse. It is not very updated lately because I have been intensely sick with the flu all of the month of May. I have been bedridden for the most part, not that you guys could tell because I do push myself to try to record every single day anyway and make sure the episodes are out. If you've been following my Twitter, then you know that I've been fighting off this horrible flu the entire month. But that is why the Greenhouse channel has been updated. You'll see a lot of vlogs, a lot of casual hiking things done on the Greenhouse channel, and that's also where I put Farmville 2 because I was worried that our channel was becoming a little bit too cluttered. So please, Farmville 2 lovers, let me know in the comments below. Would you prefer if Farmville 2 came back and stayed on the gaming channel and I just kept the other channel as a vlog channel, because I'm kind of leaning towards that now? And if so, I probably would not bring Farmville 2 back as a daily series. However, would Farmville 2 clutter up your guys' sub boxes too much? Would that be annoying? We already put out 4 episodes a day. Would having Farmville 2 floating by frustrate you, or would it be fun? I don't think we'd do it every day anymore. We'd probably do it 3 to 4 times a week. But I would love to do it again and put it back on the main channel because it would be a fresh start. It would be a fresh start, and it would be a way of interacting with the community, because you can actually go and visit people's farms, other community members' farms in Farmville too. So let me know what you guys think about that. I love Farmville. I've missed it. I just haven't had the energy to take care of it and try to manage the 2 channels. Managing a vlog channel is harder than it looked. And Spore. I want to bring Spore back. I just have not had the time. We have had 3 different series. We have had Zoo Crafting. We have had Sims 3 and Sims 4 all hit season 2, and we have revamped Zoo Tycoon 2, so it kind of started a new series as well, all in the same month. And that's left me with very little energy. But I do plan on continuing with the adventures of the Finnaw and Spore, and hopefully doing more Galactic Adventures now that I know how to download and play the Galactic Adventures, and even starting some new creatures, so starting a few new save files and trying maybe a carnivore this time. Or maybe, like, I've been thinking how fun would it be to be a carnivorous plant of some type, plant animal. Mimic plant. So Spore is still around. I'm probably gonna bring it back maybe at least 2 days a week once I can sit down and actually spend some time with it. Sims 2, oh, my dear passionate love of Sims 2 has never ever subsided, but it's very difficult to get Sims 2 up to where I want it to be, up to snuff as they say, because I want probably, let's see, like 10 gigabytes of mods is usually where I start my Sims 2 series. But I have not forgotten about Sims 2, and I do want to bring it back with a vengeance for a wonderful legacy neighborhood. Basically like a build-a-city challenge with a lot of unique, careful twists and rules. So Sims 2 is never out of the picture. It's just been something dancing on the edges that's so difficult for me to build up and prepare, because we would not be starting the game vanilla. We would be starting it heavily modded. We would be starting it in a neighborhood that would be carefully prepared for a build-a-city challenge. And I have been working on those build-a-city challenge rules in the background as well. Will you do more games such as Harvest Moon? And yes, I will. I actually am preparing to try to do DS games, and that involves buying a $600 DS recorder, which I have been saving up diligently for several months. Almost every single bit of the donations that have come in have gone into a savings account to better the channel. I have used those donations for paying for the new server and for a few necessary upgrades to the computer. And now they're being slowly but surely saved up so we can try to get enough money to buy the actual DS recording system, probably the 3DS XL system, since it runs all DS Legacy family games more or less, from Akihira. And so it's gonna be very expensive. It's gonna take a while to get here, but I sat down and I did a list with the Elgato, which is the console recording system. It only cost about $200. And I thought, oh, that would be fun. We could record a lot of the games that are on Xbox and Wii and GameCube and those kinds of things. But when I looked at it, I made a list of all the games I would want to Let's Play. And that list was far shorter than the games on the DS that would want to Let's Play. Like Animal Crossing, Pokemon. I can't find any other Pokemon Let's Plays done by a girl. Like the DS Let's Plays. So there's a niche if I ever saw one, I suppose. But I would love to play Pokemon, definitely Animal Crossing, Visit Your Guys' Place, and all of the Harvest Moon games. My goal is to one day, and I want to start this summer with at least getting one of the Let's Plays out of the way, to one day play every single Harvest Moon and Rune Factory game that has come out, with the exception of the latest one. I would do Story of the Seasons from Xseed, and not the latest Harvest Moon for DS, which sucks. So yes, Harvest Moon is on the list, deeply on the list. Harvest Moon was the series that I got into being a video game, real true gamer on. Harvest Moon 64, I used to carry the cartridge around in my pocket all day long so I could take it out and look at it while I was at school and know that I could get home and start taking care of my crops and taking flowers to Potpourri and eggs to Ellie. And I kept it in my pocket for so long that the image wore off the front of it. So I plan on playing all of the Harvest Moon games, and building up a huge library that way as well. And what are some of the other animal games you want to play? As I keep saying, Wolf Quest, Shelter, Shelter 2, Never Alone, Subnautica, and several of the other animal games out there. Horse Haven on the Android or iPhone. Geez, there's like a lot of animal survival games where you play as stray animals out in the world. Pretty much any of those games. If you guys have suggestions, leave them in the comment section. I have a huge list of suggested games that I want to play, and my list of games that I want to let's play is gigantic. It's huge. But zoo crafting is always the one that I try to take care of first, which is why we haven't really gotten to most of the list. But yeah, go ahead, leave comments. Please leave comments. I look up and write down every game that I'm interested in let's playing. The list is gigantic, and I'm hoping this summer we might be able to do some summer bashes, like Viva Pinata! Finally getting through some of the things that I have had on the list for eons to let's play, and I just haven't had a chance to do so yet. So leave some more down in the list below. I'll be sure to get to them as soon as I can, which may be quite a while by this point. But there we go, guys. Okay, just really quickly, the very last questions are questions people asked me for me personally, and we'll finish off with these and then be done. Be done. 500 episodes. Oh, and so many adventures yet to come. All right, questions. What would you do with 3 wishes? Wish number 1, that my mother and father and my siblings and cousins, basically as much of my family as the wish can cover, would be happy and healthy and taken care of. They don't have to be wealthy, they don't have to be like superheroes that could fly, but if they could be given the kind of life where they're secure, where they're safe, and where they no longer have, where if I could look at my dad's face and I could see relaxation in his eyes instead of the tense lines under his eyes and the way his cheeks and his eyebrows are just a little bit pinched with wrinkles because he's worried, the distant look in his eyes when he's in pain and when he's worried. If I could take all of that away, I would do that in a heartbeat. Even if it meant that I couldn't use those wishes for myself, of course I would. My parents are amazing and I love them. And the fact that they live in daily pain is so unfair to me, and I would wish for that first off. That would definitely be one of my wishes. Could I do something really dramatic? Because wishing for world peace is not something I could pass up on if I'm allowed to use a wish for that. I have seen when I worked as a foster mother, and when I worked in the foster care system, when I worked as a volunteer at domestic violence shelters. When I was there, like, I've seen too much violence in the world and too much pain, mostly in the name of greed and power and control. If I could wish for world peace and people wouldn't hit each other anymore, people wouldn't kill each other anymore, we could work together and be greater than that. Humanity could work together and be more than the sum of its violence. Then I would wish for that, if I'm allowed to wish for such big things. And I would wish for more balance. I don't know how that wish would be filled, but I look at my little birds sitting here singing next to me, and I know that these are Gouldian finches, endangered in Australia. And I love this world and what's out there and what's in it so much. And to know that so much of it is dying in mass because of dozens and dozens of factors, but primarily just our own ignorance over the scale of the effect that we have on the environment around us. If I could restore some of that balance somehow without some horrible catastrophic plague or like ice age of some kind, if I could restore some of that balance so that we didn't have to mourn the fact that black rhinoceri are now extinct and cheetahs are on their way out, and this and that, and all of these things that took millions of years to reach the point in life that they're at, and they just go poof now. If I could bring some of that balance, destroy the black market trade in animals and people and weapons, then I would wish for that. But those are what I would wish for. And that actually ties into the next question. Are you happy in life? And I am. I'm taken care of. I'm part of this amazing community of thousands of people who come to listen to our adventures and our stories and my voice, which is, I'm very shy, painfully shy in real life. Being part of the community, being a YouTuber, being Seri, has actually made me far less shy. But I'm still very shy and reserved, and I like watching people and listening more than talking when you're with me in public. And I am happy, though. I'm happy for the community and how I've grown. I'm happy for where I am at in life and the challenges that I've overcome. I'm happy that I now finally have the capability to see those needs of my family met to the extent that I can meet them. So yeah, I'm happy. Things aren't easy. There's still things to do, but I'm happy in life. So yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, and the very, very, very last question that I'll answer, just to kind of put a lighter spin on things, what Hogwarts house would I put myself in? Ravenclaw. I love reading. I love learning for the sake of learning. I would be Ravenclaw all the way. I would be Ravenclaw with a focus on herbalism. Herbology would be my main study. So there we go, guys. Episode 500. Life-changing series for me. And I hope you guys are all having an amazing, wonderful day, and you've enjoyed this very special question and answer series. And please feel free to leave comments. I will answer all of them I can. And again, just thank you. Thank all of you for what we've created and the community we've built, and for the future adventures that we get to go on. I cannot wait to see you guys there. Remember, episode 1 of season 2 will be airing this Saturday. It will be a Saturday special just to introduce you guys to the world and some of the mods, and to get us geared up, pumped, and excited for what's gonna come. So I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.